what we do first, before pouring 4 liters of milk into the pot, is diluting citric acid. Is 1.5 teaspoon in 1 cup of non-chlorinated water. To get non-chlorinated water, what we do is we boil it beforehand, so when it cools down we can use it, and that's what we have in our tank. So now I'm going to do that. Okay, this is a citric acid. You can find it, I bought it in Paniscan, but you can also find it in Spar. And this is a measure of a teaspoon. This will contribute to the elasticity of your cheese. So it's very important to get it acid, but it has to be prepared before it goes to the pot. So once diluted, you have to pour this non-chlorinated water mixed with the citric acid in the pot, and then quickly mix it up with the milk and measure with a thermometer until it gets to 31 degrees. Well, once you put the milk inside the pot, you should have a good thermometer measuring, and you'll see it'll start like breaking up the milk. That's called curdling, and you'll see it curdle because of the citric acid. It's normal, that's good. If it doesn't appear the curdling, then you have to heat it a bit more. So normally these thermometers have both in Celsius and Fahrenheit. Should be 90 degrees Fahrenheit or up to 100 until you see the curdling. And then you turn off the gas, and then you add the rennet. Okay, for the 4 liters or the gallon, we use 16 drops of rennet. I bought the vegetable one. In 1/4 of a cup of non-chlorinated. Like I said, what I did was just boiling, so it evaporates. If there's a bit, I don't feel it has here, just a bit. Just a 1/4 non-chlorinated and 16 drops. Okay, now that we've reached the right temperature, we got it to 100 Fahrenheit. That's easier to measure. I'm going to pour the 1/4 cup with the rennet and mix just for 30 seconds, and we measure it with a watch. Like I said, up to down, like points downwards, like this. It'll immediately start curdling. In 5 minutes, you will see it will be like a custard, sort of, and it will be separated into whey and milk, like the custard, in that time. 30 minutes, so we leave it 30 minutes. We check if it's not ready. We can leave it up to 1 hour or even a bit more. So that's fine. What I'm going to do now is to keep the temperature. So I'm going to close the box. Okay, now this is 1.5 hours later. We have the curd. I know if you can see it, like this. So with a sharp knife, you got like crisscross shape, like this. But they, 1.5 inch more or less. You can see the way that's the liquid around the cheese. It's already very like stretchy. I like the words this time of the day. So I'm not cutting into the crisscross, and then what we'll do is to heat it up to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, this is how slowly it has to be stirred. We keep the thermometer again to measure 110 degrees. Okay, the curds, I stir them and they're already 110 degrees Fahrenheit, always Fahrenheit. Now we have to strain them. You see, it's almost like one mass, and it's very like soft, like a soft mass. So we're putting them there. One thing is, another tip is not to move the strainer, because some people say, yeah, you have to press it, but the more you disturb between commas the curds, the more way you release, and it means it will be drier. So we don't bother them. Whatever they release, and then we'll do the next step with the warm water. The balls of cheese are already very soft and elastic. So, and it's getting shiny. See how stretchy it is. We can proceed to make the cheese balls. And one comment to make is that we added some teaspoons, like 2 or 3 teaspoons of salt in the water, the hot water, so that it starts braining. Okay, here he's making the balls, and then we put directly into salty water. I put in the brine 4 more or less teaspoons of salt in cold water, just tap water will do, and you leave it like for half an hour. So you okay, we have balls that are already brined, like for an hour and a bit more. This is the ball, super shiny. And what we do, we have to preserve them, and before eating, or for 2 to 3 days in the fridge, and we wrap them with film. And what I do is I will weigh them up